Why am I so slow? That's what I'm going to talk about in today's video. Some of the reasons why I was such a slow runner. Things that you can do to make yourself a faster, stronger, healthier runner. Over the last few days, I've been thinking about my training and what it's going to take to be able to run 100 miles. I know I have to start off small and slowly build up. And I've thought about all those mistakes that I've made in the past. I'm certainly going to pay a lot more attention to the things that I'm going to talk to you about in today's video. I've thought long and hard about how I ended up burned out, falling apart, and really not happy in my running. I really think today's video could help a number of you. I know it's certainly helping me in my planning, my training schedule for the upcoming months. If you want to improve and run faster, then here are some things that I have learned that I believe can help you. I'm going to assume that most of you have built an aerobic base at some point in time. You could be doing 80-20 running, right? Which is 80% of your runs are in zone 2, Maffetone Method or easy running, and 20% are higher intensities like tempo runs and threshold runs, hill repeats, track workouts such as 200s, 400s, 800 meter repeats. And you have to think that the smaller the pace gap between the types of running, the more likely you will have a plateau in your running pace. And this is a real problem I find in my running. And I've talked to some of my other running friends and they have a similar issue. Another problem is when I would run all of my sessions at the same pace and effort. I would tend to compete with my previous run and I would try to run it even faster. And this resulted in me running all of my easy runs too fast and all of my higher intensity runs too slow. And this is the reason why I burned out a number of years ago. You can't run your quality runs when you're tired from running your easy runs, right? Makes sense? Number 2, not spending the time to build up your aerobic system. If you don't spend the time building up your aerobic base, then you might find yourself getting injured more often and having to take more and more time off recovering from running injuries. It takes time for your muscles to repair themselves after a harder run, or even if you have been running longer distances. When you build your aerobic system, it helps your body metabolize food, better. It puts your system in more of a fat burning mode, as opposed to burning carbs all the time. Yes, you need fuel for your muscles after those harder runs, and I'll talk about that a little later in my video. However, when you are just burning fat as fuel, it's a little bit of a different story. You've got lots of it on you. It's not like you have to kind of fuel yourself for it because we have enough of it on us. Number 3, overweight. I find when I have extra weight to lose, I'm running slow. Running with extra weight takes a lot of energy, and you will be working harder to move your body further. There is an old study that found that 12-minute run performance, which averaged about 3,230 meters, just over 2 miles, with no extra weight, was reduced by an average of 89 meters for every additional 5% of added weight. Now, if you do the math, that works out to an extra 1.4 seconds per mile for every extra pound they carried under those particular conditions. So if you take this into account, if a runner weighed 230 pounds and they are 60 pounds overweight, then if you look at this mathematical equation here, it kind of says 12 minutes slower, guys. It's hard to tell if it's better fitness or weight that plays a bigger role in running faster. So I would say it's a combination of both, but that's just my opinion. So take it for what it's worth, guys. Consistency is the glue that holds all of your running together. Lack of consistency over time will impact your running improvements. It's like investing. Every bit of money invested will grow with compounded interest. And over time, it's the small investments over the long time. It's basically money in the bank. It's the same with your fitness. The more consistent you are with your running and the longer you run, then the better your aerobic fitness gets, and you become a stronger and much improved runner over time. Over the past year, I've been inconsistent with my running, and you can't just pick up where you left off months ago. I need to have some consistency with my walk-run sessions week after week after week to build upon. If I don't, then I'll get injured and I'll have to take more time off running, which leads back to being inconsistent. You could be running too much. If you want to improve as a runner, you're going to need to run more. However, there is a fine line when it comes to running too much. Years ago, before I had learned about Zone 2, easy running, Maffetone Method, and knowing when to slow it down, I ran too much, too fast, and found out the hard way that burnout is a real thing when it came to running. I ran 6 to 7 days a week with no rest days. I thought I didn't need them, and I didn't pay attention to the signs of overtraining. I was under the impression that I would get faster in every session I would run. Man, listen, I was so wrong. Don't be like me. Don't do what I did. I didn't understand it was when I took the time off from running, that's when my body would start to recover and it would build itself back stronger than it was before. It was when I would see the benefits and that the adaptations would occur in my muscles. Fueling your body with the right nutrition. Look, I'm no nutritionist. I'm not a coach. This is just me wanting to improve and sharing my experience with you. If you want to run faster and see improvements in your fitness, then you will need to eat the right foods. Sure, there are a lot of options on what is considered healthy and what is not. I'm not here to tell you what to eat and what not to eat. I'm here to tell you that I have seen firsthand what happens to me when I don't eat very well. Firstly, I feel sluggish when I've been eating the wrong types of foods, like the highly processed foods that come from the middle aisles in the grocery stores. You know, it's the cookies, it's the chips, it's the bread, it's the, canned soups, all that kind of stuff. Also, when I eat out at restaurants. But when I eat foods like veggies, nuts and seeds, and fresh pressed juice, and all the salads, man, do I feel epic. My body responds to it, and I literally feel really good when, I'm giving my body the nutrients to be able to give me the energy I need to be able to run. Knowing when to eat after a run is also highly important. Timing of nutrition is something that I've overlooked for years, and I still don't have it down 100%. But listen, I'm working on it. Knowing how much carbs, fats, protein, and when to consume them can be confusing. Like, it really can. There's just so much information. When you train at a higher intensity, like 800-meter repeats and tempo runs and threshold runs, you are depleting your muscle glycogen stores. And when they get too low, you will not have the energy you will need to complete the training session to your potential. I would feel my muscles tightening up, my legs would get heavy, I would really be sluggish, I would feel like lead. It was not good. So don't allow your glycogen stores to get too low because you will hit the wall and it's not a good thing. So after running a hard training session, you need to feed your muscles, and that is when the timing is very important, because after the first 15 minutes of finishing your run, your body's ability to feed the glycogen back into the muscles drops by about 50%. And after an hour, it takes much longer to absorb and feed your muscles to help them recover. Now with protein, it's very helpful to consume after a run to help the carb refeed process, as well as to give your muscles the ability to repair. And it's very important when we get older. We want to turn off the catabolic process and turn on the anabolic process and stop the breakdown of the muscles after you're finished your training sessions. Strength training is something I have ignored for years. However, in the past year, I have come to understand how important it can be. Firstly, it helps prevent injuries. Working on the hamstrings and the quads and the calves and doing some, stabilization exercises can keep you running and keep you out of the injury box. Secondly, you will want to work on the upper body as well. In doing so, you will improve your ability to complete longer distances by ensuring your posture is strong. Strength training can help your running by upwards to about 5%, and once you have stronger muscle, it will help with the onset of muscle fatigue in those longer runs. Just like when I ran my 50-miler. I was able to go those longer distances because I was strong on the upper and on the lower, and my body was able to get me to the finish line. Yeah, I was a little beat up, but I was able to do it. That's the important thing. If you're trying to figure out what is going to work best for you when it comes to getting faster, and you want to run and you don't want to walk, here's something that I did that was extremely helpful. Click on this video right here, and it should answer some of those questions. Like I always say, everyone, get out and run. See you on the weekend. Bye.